Hello Shamai and welcome back to this second tactics video that I've made on this save, and it features one of the tactics I've recently taken hold of, essentially started implementing in my Welshman's Journey save. And as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, it is themed around lower league tactics. So if you don't have the quality players, the creative players, if you want to stick to a basic tactic, essentially, that's going to get you results in the lower leagues. Mainly not talking like what a championship or League One. I'm talking kind of non-league tactics here, quite low down. And unsurprisingly, it's the good old 4-4-2. Now you might just think straight away, 4-4-2, I know how to do that, I'm not going to bother watching the rest of this. But there is quite a lot of little player instructions that I've given this time as well. And it's kind of geared to my team, but there's a couple of things like a lack of dribbling, etc. that you're going to get at a lot of lower clubs. So this is the team we've got then. Well, first of all, we'll talk about the player roles, then the player roles, then the mentality and team instructions, and then we'll talk about the player instructions. So the goalkeeper is as normal, and across the back, we want to keep it simple again, with a fullback, central defender, and a fullback. Fullback's on automatic, and the central defender on defend as well. Now we get into the middle, we get things a little bit different. We want your two wingers to both be on wingers on support, unless if you're expected to win a game, you could turn them to attack to try and score a couple more goals, but I like to keep them on support so they don't commit themselves forward too much. And then we have a normal central midfielder on support and a deep line playmaker on defend. That is to give yourself a little bit of protection. So instead of actually properly dropping someone into here, you're going to keep him there, but he's going to be basically your safe midfielder who is going to be watching behind the midfielder and in front of the defence. Now up front, we have a deep line forward and an advanced forward. Pretty easy, straightforward stuff. There's not going to be any... chances are you're not going to be able to have someone who can play as a complete forward in your team. If you can, you're very lucky, but I'm quite happy to keep it as just a deep line forward and advanced forward. So most of the time I'll keep the mentality on standard, just because, well, that's something that's kind of at your own discretion. If you're going away to top of the league who are unbeaten, then you probably should stick it on counter or defensive. But if you're at home, I don't like to put it on attacking or control really, because I like the basics. I just definitely don't like putting it on attacking, because you just get players getting so out of position. And if we look at the team instructions, again, it's something to be kept really, really simple. Only 3 instructions. We've got prevent short goalkeeper distribution, just to put a little pressure on the goalkeeper. I always put that on pretty much every one of my tactics. Be more disciplined, to make sure your players, as it says there, players part of a robust and focused tactical shape. Try and keep things very, very, not too structured, but structured enough at lower level. And then we have more direct passing, because I don't know if you know, but over the top balls in an FM18 is pretty OP. So now we get into the more interesting bit, where we're going to talk about the player instructions. Not everyone has their own player instructions, but what you want to do with your fullbacks is put them on fewer risky passes. I don't know about you, but even though these fullbacks are apparently really good, the passing not so good. 8 passing for my right back, and just 8 passing for my left back as well. So it's not something you want your fullbacks to be doing. So you want to make sure you have fewer risky passes on with them. Defenders, I've kind of kept it on the same: shoot less often, dribble less, hold position. You want them to be staying back. There's not really much here. You could put them on fewer risky passes as well. The reason I'm not doing it is because I like them to play risky passes in terms of long ball, and I don't want to put fewer risky passes on to make sure that they don't essentially put the long balls up there. So with this one then, I've got one of my central midfielders on support, run wide with ball, and I usually put dribble more on there as well. So basically, which out of your centre midfielders have the best passing and has the best dribbling, sorry. I know he only has 9 dribbling, but he's not usually the player that plays there. We've got Troy Green, who's currently injured. But we want to put someone there who's got the best dribbling out of your centre midfield. So he's essentially going to be the one that's going to be dribbling up here, dribbling right there. And the reason I put it on wide is just to give the wingers a little bit of support, and you've got your deep line playmaker on defend, who's always going to be drifting around here, just from this position, and he's not going to push forward that much. So we go to the deep line playmaker on defend, pretty much the same. You could put dribble less on, but I don't want to restrict him too much. So you've just got to hold position and shoot less often on him. Now we talk about the wingers. We've got a couple of ones here. It depends on the wingers you have, really, but shooting-wise, my wingers leave a little bit to be desired. They're not very good at all. So something I put on both of them is shoot less often. There it is. And something I really, really like as well is make sure you put the aim cross in at the near post, because the amount of goals we've scored from the near post crosses this season, well, since I've employed this tactic, is pretty impressive. I'm very, very happy with how that has gone. And then you look here at the same with this guy. So on our deep lying forward, something I thought was pretty much only one tactic I've put on my own is the more closing down, essentially because you want to be attacking from the front, and at lower league they're a lot more likely to make mistakes. Now I didn't realize this until I actually thought about it, but the last few games there's been a lot of mistakes coming from the opposition defenders, and then I've realized I put this close down more, and we put a lot of pressure on high up the pitch, and obviously it's worked out well because there's been quite a few calamitous defensive errors from the opposition recently. And then finally with our advanced forward, we're keeping it simple with this guy. I wish there was a way I could tell him to go to the near post, or tell the striker to go to the near post, because that's what I would do. But I'm very, very happy with him just as a normal player. The normal player instructions. So you all want to see results and how things have gone, and you look up here and you think, Jesus Christ, that is terrible. Why are you showing me this? But actually, I first employed this tactic in the Carmarthen game here. Well, I lie, it was the Bangor game, but they were really good, and I want to forget about that one. So we went 12 games without a win, and then we employed this tactic, and now we are unbeaten. We won 2-0 here, 3 draws in a row, so it's a bit of a topsy-turvy tactic, but it's worked out really well, and we haven't lost a game with it yet. Well, forget about Bangor, but we haven't lost a game with it against a decent team, really. So we've drawn 0-0, we've drawn 1-0. This was a really terrible own goal. That was one of the mistakes, and I'm sure there was a mistake against Bala as well. Against a team who are 5th in the league, this was. We were in the relegation zone. So we're in some fantastic form with this tactic, and it's worked out really, really well. And you think, well, 4-4-2 is what you really need to go for when you're playing in those lower leagues. But it's just a little bit more insight of the team instructions, and I also forgot team share. I like to keep that on instructions as well. And a couple of player instructions just to give you that little bit more solidity at the back and help you focus really your attacks a lot better in the lower league. So I hope you enjoyed this quick tactical video, guys. I hope it works out for you. Let me know down in the comments what tactics you like to use, and let me know if you've used this one at all, if 4-4-2 works for you in higher leagues, etc, etc. So if you want to see more, guys, please don't forget to subscribe, and again, leave a comment if you've got anything to say down below. I'll see you again.